Greetings to the audience at large. My name is Osiris. Welcome to the Forbidden Fruit. On today's edition, we're discussing matters of the heart. These are very important matters, If you're alive, they concern you directly. The heart is a very interesting component of the human body. For most people, and what they understand about the heart is that it's merely a pump for blood. But the more you understand and the more you try and delve into the knowledge of the ancients, you realize that the heart has been considered a sacred component of the human experience. It's for that reason that the ancient Egyptians believed that when you die, it is your heart that is weighed against the scales of Ma'at to determine whether or not you've lived a life that equates to balance. With that being said, I think that within itself is a very important component, an idea. The idea of love equating to some degree of math, balance. What you do on the left, you must do on the right. Because within my particular life experience, I've recognized that whenever you are, for example, within our orthodox understanding of love or relationship, it is an act of balance. It is a balancing game. Balancing the needs of your partner versus your own. Balancing expectations. Balancing the needs and wants of the relationship. Balancing the manifestation of the vision between the two of you. And how you balance the two energies to make sure that you both manifest the reality in which you wish to see yourselves in. So, balance is a very key component to the love equation, and it takes a bit of growing up and understanding to get to that level of acceptance. Now, we live in a time whereby degeneracy and disorder and imbalance is what has been pumped and promoted by the zeitgeist. It's for that reason that when you log in anywhere, any social media, there is just a barrage of negative depictions of the current state of male and female relationships. So clearly there's people who feel as though they're incentivized to mess with the dynamics of both men and women, or males and females, all the negative and positive energy that exists amongst humanity. Now for me, I just recognize that a good portion of life is an alchemical process, turning lead into gold, turning base metals into gold. By that I mean taking the mundane and turning it into something extraordinary. And I think that is the same process we go through when we experience love. We are not the same people we start out as in the end result. By the time the story of the love has been said and done or has been told, we have completely transformed as a person, because we have now accepted and seen the other within, or we've seen self within the other. I think that's also another key component of the love equation, is how much of yourself can you see in the other person. For me as a man, one thing that has been thoroughly obvious to me ever since I was growing up is that, for the most part, women serve as a constant reminder of the mirror image of consciousness that we're experiencing. And that there's a good portion of things that we believe are fundamentally us, but for the most part have to do with our biology and the meat suit that we're attached to. And part of growing up, part of being a man, or a woman for that matter, is understanding and taming the meat suits in order to reach and utilize your higher faculties. Even with love. Love from a debased approach and an animalistic approach and a carnal and lustful approach will always lead to disaster and dissatisfaction, because it is not rooted in the right materials in which a foundation can be made and sustained. So even in things as mundane as dating, your intentions are very important. And I'm not that old, but I'm certainly not a spring chicken either. I've been around the block. And one of the things I cannot understand is that people at this particular age are still at a place whereby they cannot fathom or they cannot find the authentic place within themselves to just be honest about the intentions within the prospect of the relationship. And I think that is the ultimate degree of sadness, because it has created a large degree of distrust amongst people, whereby everybody is proud of being a savage, displaying lack of emotional intelligence, as if that was the currency through which we should be spreading our influences as humans, as humanity, So I look around and I look at all these podcasts and content media spaces which are facilitating the destruction and the denigration of the relationship between men and women. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Maybe it is as a result of the place that we're in regards to the cycle that we're experiencing, and that humanity is going through a great time of transition. But it is kind of wild to see. And I'll say that in particular, especially with black men and black women. I've always said this, that to me, as a student of history, it's very absurd and very strange to see that we have been literally through hell and back as black men and black women, right? Natural disasters, wars, famines, invasions, slavery, colonialism, neo-colonialism. And yet, it's now at the supposed peak of our freedom and independence, whereby black men and black women are walking in completely different directions. It boggles the fucking mind. It's like we experienced all that adversity together, and now when we're finally at a place whereby we should be building our own sustainable future and community and society for our children, our children's children, we are at odds with one another. All of a sudden we are pushing and pulling in different directions. We no longer can understand and fathom what it is to build a family. Family all of a sudden is a mystery. Like people are questioning the fundamentals. And you only have to look at the European civilization to see what happens when you start questioning the fundamental building blocks of your civilization. Stunning decline in birth rates. But that can be attributed to other things as well, no doubt. But we as Africans have to be very mindful of the position we find ourselves in. In terms of the dominance hierarchy on the planet, we're still at the bottom of the food chain. But however, our numbers and momentum is on our side. By the year 2050, 1/3 of the world is going to be African. Assuming we continue, to procreate and come together as black men and black women to, invest in the future. But that can only happen with the assumption that we truly believe that we are going to be here for the future. Maybe not us in our current version, but some variation of us. And so just with that alone, I think we have very much great incentive to fix the strife in the relationship and the, the strain that has happened between black men and black women. And just, because I believe we're the basis of humanity, so I think if we get our shit together, humanity will follow suit. So I think it's very important for us to start recognizing that we are each other's mirrors and we are reflections of each other's strengths and weaknesses. And it's only through the act of balancing oneself and attempting to balance those around us can we ever hope to attain some degree of peace and tranquility. So with that being said, I just truly believe that we have to truly find ourselves and know ourselves and understand that we did not start here nor do we end here. We are merely travelers. We may be in this world, but we're not of this world. And so whilst we are here, we have to be cognizant of the fact that we are all merely walking each other home. And this great journey, this great theater of life and reality and existence is merely a cosmic drama of love. And that love is the basis of it all. The only thing that keeps it together is love. And so in the end, it's love that will win out. So whatever you do, however you do it, wherever you are, however you are, stay rooted in love. Love will always bring you back to, the All-Father, the source of it all, the beginning before the beginning. Yeah. Anyway, I hope I said something that was of value to you. I hope that you received this message well. I hope that this finds you well, and I hope that you continue to rise in knowledge, spirituality, discipline, and live long and prosper. Xenosaurus out. I mean,